Alright, Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, Rakakorash, give honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, Gwatim, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. But this is going to be another video, this is going to be another video through the Spirit. Was doing some reading yesterday, and basically this is going to be one of those videos. The words that come out of the average Israelite's mouth, they're biblical and they don't even realize it. All right, one of the terms or phrases that you'll hear Jake using is being caught slipping. All right, or lacking. All right, you got caught. Oh, that nigga got caught lacking. He ain't have his thing on him. You know, all that type of talk, referencing Jake not being prepared or doing something stupid, and then dying as a result. You know, someone putting them to death because of their ignorance. And one of the cases that I'm going to be highlighting in the law, all right, the law that was given to the Israelites by the hand of Moses, by Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahushai, all right, as it tells you in Exodus, it says the finger of God, all right. So Numbers 35, we're going to start at verse 15. It says, "These 6 cities shall be a refuge, both for the children of Israel, and for the stranger, and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that killeth any person unawares may flee thither. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron, so that he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. And if he smite him with throwing a stone, wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. Or if he smite him with an hand weapon of wood, wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death." So this is Numbers 35, 15 through 18 right there. It was letting you know that if a man ups and kills somebody, you know, that the judgment for it is for them to be put to death. All right, if an Israelite were to murder one of his neighbors, and it was giving off some of the methods, how it would have been done, whether he slew him with a sword or threw a rock at his head or hit him with a bat, So it says that the judgment is to be death. Verse 19. In verse 15, it's talking about the refuge cities that are built for people who kill someone. All right, verse 19, it says, "The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him, and he shall slay him. But if he thrust him of hatred," so verse 19, right? So let's say your brother, let's say you have an actual blood brother, was out at the gas station, he gets robbed and killed. All right, the families, in most cases, basically a person would be picked to go get the revenge for their fallen family member or mate or son, uncle, whoever it be. That's who the revenger of blood is to be considered. All right, it says once again in 19, it says, "The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him. He shall slay him." So in situations like this, that thief would be on the run for his life, knowing that, oh shit, the revenger is about to come looking for me. An Israelite that was picked out, whether it was chosen by the family or the judges of the city, he'd be given the permission to where if he catches him slipping, all right, if he catches him off guard, then according to the law, he can take his life, and he's not going to suffer any punishment for that. It's considered righteous. I'm going to keep going. Verse 20. It says, "But if he thrust him of hatred," now this is talking about a man who commits a murder, "but if he thrust him of hatred or hurl at him by laying of weight, that he die, or in enmity smite him with his hand, that he die, and he smote him," Eslakia, "he that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him." So now that's saying, if you get a wicked thought in your head, you're going to put one of your people to death for whatever reason, then hey, you got to suffer that, you got to get killed for it. And I'll just back it up with this in Deuteronomy. Then I'll get to the main points here in a second. But Deuteronomy 19:11. And we're not advocating this as of right now. We can't keep these laws. This isn't one of those type of videos. I'm giving you this law to show you something here in a second. So don't be going around, putting people to death. We have to leave everything into Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai's hands in these times, first and foremost. All right, so Deuteronomy 19:11. It says, "But if any man hate his neighbor and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and fleeth into one of those cities," one of what cities? The refuge cities. It says, "Then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die." It says, "Thine eyes shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee." And that was another thing. So if a person, because you had two types of people, if you kill someone accidentally, which we're going to get into, you would have to go to one of those refuge cities. But even if you killed somebody on purpose, you could go to a refuge city, but once, everything was accounted for, the witnesses came forward, and it was proved that you killed someone in wickedness, you'd be pulled out of that refuge city, and you'd be put to death. All right. So now let me take it back to the numbers, just to get back to where I want to get to. Jump down. But okay, at verse 22, then I'm going to jump. It says, Numbers 35 and 22, "But if he thrusts him suddenly without enmity, or having cast upon him anything without laying of weight," so it says right there, if he did it without enmity, by accident or by whatever means, he tripped and fell while he had a bucket of water, and Ray was by the speaker, playing his beats, and the bucket of water met the speaker and electrocuted Ray ass, and John got to get out of there. He didn't do it on purpose. All right, so there would have been a place for him to go to, of refuge, so that family of Ray couldn't come headhunting. All right. So now let me jump down. Let me see. Okay. Perfect. Verse 24. "Then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to the judgments." So it's taken into account everything that happened. "And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood." So that man was deemed innocent because he didn't do it on purpose, so the revenger can't go killing him. "And the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge, whither he was fled. And he shall abide in it unto the day of the high Slakia. And he shall abide in it unto the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil." So basically, if you had someone kill someone by accident, then they would have to live in that refuge city until the high priest died. So if the high priest didn't die for 30 more years, then he had to stay there for 30 more years. All right. Verse 26. And now here's where we get this term from. Through the Spirit, of course. All right. But it is the way that we talk, Israelites speak in a biblical manner without even realizing it. And here it goes. Numbers 35 and 26. "But if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge, whither he was fled," so if that person who was told to stay in that city until the high priest die leaves out of the city, "and the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood." So, dude got caught slipping. The slayer was outside of the city. He was leaving from his parameters, and he got caught at unawares by the revenger of blood, and the revenger of blood put him to death. And Jake uses that mentality and lifestyle today. All right, you look at certain places, and I'm going to have the picture up. They talking about 387th Street. Man, Jake's stupid. That sounds like a daggone street in Chicago somewhere. But you'll have a situation, say, matter of fact, and this happened, there's this artist. His name was Ben J. All right. A guy had broken into his house attempting to rob him. He came in the house, put the gun to his face, and the robber didn't realize old boy already had a gun in his hand at the door. So he hurried up and put two in him before the robber even realized what was going on. And so that guy who defended himself in his house and his sister that was in the other room, he had to get up and leave. He was in Las Vegas, I believe, and he went over to Cali. He got out of the way. And he kept getting, and he was talking, this was a Vlad TV interview. He was telling Vlad how, yeah, the people of that city, they're basically saying, you better not come back here. We looking for you. We gonna kill you. If we see you out here, we gonna kill you. All right. So they knew not to go chase him, but they also stated that if he comes back to that city, they'll try their best to kill him, which they don't even realize they're and they're doing it all in wickedness because drugs and rap and music was involved. So, they don't really know the full scale of it. But they're keeping this law subconsciously without even realizing it. He knows that he's safe as long as he stays where he's at. All right, and these are just one of the ways to know who the true Israelites are. These are things that we practice in our life, whether it be in righteousness or in wickedness, without even realizing it. That's where the term comes from. You'll have two Israelites that's beefing. Somebody did something to another, and the one dude, I'm gonna catch old boy slipping. That nigga he gonna be out eating. He not even gonna know I'm coming, and I'm gonna tear him up. You know how Jake's stupid ass talk. All right, and there's even an example of this in the scriptures, and I'll get it. All right, let me finish this verse. Numbers 35 and 28. It says, because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest, but after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession. So if you stayed there and the high priest died, then you were allowed to go back, and the revenger couldn't do anything to you. But if you were caught outside of those city limits before the high priest died, your ass was up for grabs. All right, no matter how accidentally you may have slew a person, hey, it was deemed that you were supposed to stay there. And you see that today in our society. All right, and so much of our terminology is biblical to where it's crazy. All right, hey, we can't deny being Israelites. Everything we do, everything we say, the way we walk, the way we talk, screams we are the children of Israel. All right, now let me get this real quick. I believe it's dealing with Shammai. Let me see. Now this is oh shit. This is this is 1 Kings chapter 2. I'm going to be starting at verse 6. Now, for anyone that knows the story, which you should, because brothers are supposed to be reading. All right, you can't be out there on the line and you ain't even read the scriptures. You don't even know what you're talking about. All right, 1 Kings 2 and 36. After the account of Shimei or Shimei, however it's pronounced, he had cursed King David, and King David's soldiers wanted to kill him, and King David had, said not to. He promised that he wasn't. And so basically, he told his son, King Solomon, to tie up all his loose ends as King David was stepping down from the throne, one of those being Shimei. And this is what was told to Shimei by way of Solomon. 1 Kings 2 and 36. And the king sent and called for Shimei, and said unto him, build thee an house in Jerusalem, and dwell there, and go not forth thence any whither. For it shall be that on the day that thou goest out, or passest over the brook Kidron, or Kidron, thou shalt know for a certain that thou shalt surely die, thy blood shall be upon thine own head. And Shimei said unto the king, the saying is good, as my lord the king hath said, so will I thy servant do. And Shimei dwelt in Jerusalem many days. So Shimei made a pact with King Solomon. All right, hey, it was agreed upon that he cannot leave the city of Jerusalem. Otherwise, he's liable to get put to death because of what he did to King Solomon's father. And lo and behold, what you think happened? Verse 39, and it came to pass at the end of 3 years that two servants of Shimei ran away unto Achish, son of Maacah, king of Gath. And they told Shimei, saying, behold, thy servants be in Gath. And Shimei arose and saddled his ass, and went to Gath to Achish to seek his servants. And Shimei went and brought his servants from Gath. So basically, he broke that promise between them. All right, and I'm gonna jump down. So what do you think happened? All right, it was told that he could not leave that city, and he thought he was gonna be slick. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. You know Jake mindset. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna come back. Ain't nobody gonna know. And whether he even did it in malice, or if he was truly if he completely forgot, he wasn't even on no shit. Nevertheless, he still made an agreement. So now verse 44, 1 Kings 2 and 44. After it was discovered that he had left out, it says, the king said moreover to Shimei, thou knowest all the wickedness which thine heart is privy to. Yup. So he was like, man, you not slick. All right. He said that thou didst to David my father. Therefore the Lord shall return thy wickedness upon thine own head. And King Solomon shall be blessed, and the throne of David shall be established before the Lord forever. So the king commanded Benaiah, 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 the son of Jehoiada, which went out and fell upon him, that he died, and the kingdom was established in the hand of Solomon. So that being it, that's the main point. So you had Shimei who got caught slipping. He thought when nobody gonna catch him. He thought when nobody gonna know. He got caught lacking. Just how in biblical law, if you had did something and you was confined to a refuge city and you was out and about, the revenger of blood will catch you slipping. All right, and how it is today. And I'm not saying it's okay or cool. You know how Jake does each other. They're so ready to slaughter and butcher one another, but they don't got nothing to say to Esau, Edom, or the rest of the nations. But I'm just using this in this piece of our heritage to show you how we are truly the Israelites. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, R'chachorash, give honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim, walk with them, learning, teaching in truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.